Well, welcome everyone. We're going to give everybody just a few minutes to hop into the call here today. But hi and welcome. All right. Well, it's the top of the hour, and one of my bookkeeping items was going to be that we are going to be recording this today, and so a couple other bookkeeping items. We do have a Q&A that's going to happen at the end of this presentation, so that if you have any questions throughout the presentation for both Torie and I, please put them in the Q&A, and we'll try to answer them at the end of our talk. And then the last item is there will be a survey at the end of this. So we've got some really good questions we want to ask you. If you don't mind spending just a couple minutes when we're all done, we'd love to get your feedback. And so with that being said, welcome everyone to this is a first annual Mobile Assistant Partner Series. And I couldn't think of a better partner to have on than one of our newest partners and one of my favorite people in Torie Happe. Torie is with the head of partnerships at a Holistiplan. Torie, welcome. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, same. Thanks for having me. I'm honored to be the first to kick off this series. I know you guys have some other great people lined up, so excited to be the first, but also very glad not to be the last.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun series and one that we're gonna have a lot of fun with a lot of our partners. And so, I look at that. I just started our presentation before we even got started. So this is going to be a lot of fun, everybody. For those that don't know me, I'm Corey Westphal. I'm the CEO and founder of Mobile Assistant. And so today we are going to be talking about how Mobile Assistant and Holistiplan have partnered up to be able to make getting the data that is so important for you as an advisor into that tax meeting follow-up Holistiplan form and do it in a way that's efficient and accurate and easy for you to do. So it's a new concept, and it's one that we're really excited about showcasing today. And so to get started, though, what we are going to talk about is something a little bit broader, which is just the power of technology and what it means for advisors and the financial industry. One of my favorite quotes that was in an article that was published by Scott Hansen. Scott Hansen is with Allworth Financial, which is one of our really good partners. And he had mentioned that a couple of decades ago, an advisor might have reached a capacity of 100 clients, but today it's 250 or 300. This is maybe 6 months old. I'm pretty sure it's probably 350 or 400 now. And what I thought was so interesting about this quote was that it is all about the way that advisors leverage technology and leverage the technology that works together that makes the difference. It's not about working 3 times as hard to be able to service 3 times as many clients. It's about being smart about the technology you use. So Torie, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think Scott hits it right on the head here. I think it's important that advisors understand the technology that they are looking at buying. I think it's really important that they understand and you guys understand, right, that your book of business is not just in your community anymore, right? You're expanding out your business, and to be able to expand just past your community, you need technology to do that. I know that the next slide that's coming up. So I do know that there is a lot out there for you to wade through and to figure out what you want and what's best for your book of business. I think, again, every community, every advisor, the way they build is different. And that's what I love about our space, is that this isn't just a one size fits all. You guys kind of get to create your own adventure on how you're going to build your technologies out. So I love how Scott talks about being able to reach more individuals, and that's what we want your technology to do, right? It's there to help you reach more individuals, give them that personalized financial plan in a really seamless manner.
Yeah, that's great, Torie. One of the things that I like to point out to advisors is that the very best technology that's available solve a problem. And a lot of the problem and a lot of the challenges that advisors have is having all of these different technologies and everything works in a silo. And so what I think is really important to be able to take your efficiency to the next level is to recognize and be able to lean on the technologies that you use to make sure you're using them in a way that they are leveraging each other, because that's the best technologies, I think, in the industry are the ones that really work together. And so those are that's great thoughts there, Torie. I couldn't agree more. So now I'm going to show something I think a lot of people have probably seen over the years, but this is the Michael Kitces map. And believe it or not, this isn't even the entire map. I couldn't get the whole map on here anymore. It has grown to a behemoth of technology. And so what I always try to keep in mind and have this perspective, that is when I come on here like with you, Torie, and we talk about technology and talking about technology working together, I think a lot of advisors can be a little overwhelmed because they're like, well, what does that mean? Right? Because like, what does it mean that you pick the technologies that work together? Like, look at this map. How do you possibly figure that out, right, on your own? And what I think is really important to remember is that, you know, companies like Mobile Assistant, companies like Holistiplan, like we've gone out of our way to integrate with the technologies that make the most sense for our customer base. And so because of that, all of these technologies that are so hard to sift through, because it's so hard to figure out what works together, that's where I would really encourage everyone that's on this call today is to leverage the companies that you're already working with to find out what are they doing, who are they partnering with. I think it's a great way to start to kind of get that maze of technology that you might have today and get it all working together. But what a crazy map. I mean, we were on this when there were like, I think 80 companies, and now look at it. I don't know, Torie, it's a little overwhelming for me, and I'm in the fintech space.
Yeah, I presented with a really good friend, Allison Susko, on like the evolution of technology. She's over at Asset Map, and we were actually able to find one of the very first Kitces maps dating from like 2018. Our company wasn't even on the map. Their company, I think, had just made it, and there was like 4 or 5 sections. So we know that this space is growing rapidly. We know that like you trying to decide what technology is best for you is, like Corey said, it's getting really convoluted. I also don't think that our industry has done you any services. It's almost a disservice at how much that we have talked about like integration. Everything needs to integrate in order for your technologies to work together. I think I sit in a minority camp. I think Corey and I are both there, that technologies don't necessarily have to integrate in order to best service you. They need to work alongside each other, a lot like Legos or Lincoln Logs. If you could imagine, I have a child who loves those 2 items, and everything links together, right? There's never one piece that has to properly fit in order for the pieces to work perfectly, right? We can still build a great Lincoln Log cabin with the pieces that we have, but they may look different than someone else's log cabin that they're going to build. So I always hate that our industry has harped on this integration piece where you're looking at this map and you're like, well, how do I know what integrates and what doesn't? It really comes down to what type of business are you wanting to build and what kind of technology is going to get you to that spot. And I like how our 2 companies is a perfect example. We don't have a direct integration with each other, but we are working alongside each other to connect 2 pieces of your puzzle, your technology puzzle, that could work alongside the other technologies that you're bringing into your business.
Yeah, and Torie, I will say that you introduced that kind of concept to me very recently, and it made so much sense to me, because the idea of companies working in parallel, right, towards a common goal. The common goal is to get the data where it needs to go, right? And so how that happens doesn't mean that it's a use it and then forget about it type of process. It's about looking at the process that you have in place for whatever the technologies are you're using, and is there a better way of doing it? Is there a better way of getting data from point A to point B so that the technology you want to use that data is going to be able to do that easily and efficiently? And that's really what the basis and foundation is of our partnership with Holistiplan, is how do we partner to make sure that we can help advisors that are using Holistiplan get the data that they need easily and accurately so that they can populate the information that they need in those tax forms. So I think that was a fantastic concept, and one that I love. That it might be the first time I've actually heard anybody talk about it, Torie, and it's smart because I'm on the same page as you as far as integrations go. Just because a company says they integrate, like everything doesn't have to flow automatically through APIs. Like it can work in a way that is in parallel, which I think is really smart. So. All right. Well, before anybody else starts having hallucinations here, we'll get on to the next page with all these technologies. Every podcast, every presentation, webinar that I do, I always have to have a fun fact that has to do with elephants, because obviously mobile assistants very synonymous with the elephant. And for those of you that don't know, one of the main reasons we chose the elephant as our logo was because elephants never forget. And so when it comes to our technology, that's what we're trying to make sure that we help advisors with, is capturing the important client interaction and do that so that you never forget. So I had to throw that in there because it makes most people smile when you see an elephant every once in a while. Now let's keep expanding a little bit, Torie, on what the mobile assistant Holistiplan like partnership really means. You know, from my perspective, it's all about the data. It's all about how do you go about getting accurate data, so good data, where it needs to go. And in this specific situation, we're talking about getting the good data in that's required from Holistiplan to be able to populate the tax forms and the tax planning. That's the good data out. And so I know we talked about this the other day, Torie. Like, I loved kind of talking about like almost like a word cloud. Like, what are the main things what does it mean to you that it's good data in, good data out? And one of the first words that came out of your mouth was accuracy, which I thought was great.
Yeah, so this whole idea, again, data runs our space, right? Financial services in general is a data-driven space. The accuracy is really important, right? You're talking about someone's financial well-being. So being able to accurately review their tax returns and that report with them is really important. I think our space has come to the realization that tax planning is really important. Clients are now requesting it, they're wanting it. It's one of the highest asks from clients. So being able to accurately have that conversation with them has been a pain point for advisors, right? They don't know how to start that conversation, and how can they even start a conversation if they don't know how to accurately get the data out that they need, right? So accuracy is really important, right? You're taking that data directly off their tax return to create that tax report. So, and being able to get that accurate data from that return to the report to then have that conversation with the client is kind of that nice flow that we were looking for.
Yeah, and you know, and that when it comes to accuracy in the dictation technology world has, I feel like, really bubbled to the top because of all the AI technology that has popped up on the scene in the last 6 months. And so because of that, like the reliance on a company that is going to be capturing the data that you're going to use to get that information from point A to point B, if you can't rely on it as a source of truth, it's going to be worthless to you. And I think this is a great example of when that information is put in and going to be used for tax purposes, it's got to be accurate, because if it's not only not efficient and not useful, but it could really be detrimental if it's not used in the right way, or if it is used when it's not an accurate source of truth. So absolutely, accuracy, number one. Number two was efficiency. I think that goes without saying. If you don't have accurate data, either coming in or going out, you're going to spend so much time, and your team is going to spend so much time cleaning it up. And I think that goes hand in hand with accuracy.
Yeah, and I think too, efficiency also is, how do you give the services that your clients are looking for, right? Being efficient, being able to communicate with your clients the way that they want to be communicated with is also really important. Our two platforms really work on the basis that the client is the sole benefactor here, right? So being able to present them a tax planning solution is ours, and you guys being able to have a clear transcript of that meeting that you're having with your client. So the efficiency there is like that direct and open communication. Clients come in, coming into their advisor's office may be a stressful situation for them, or new if they've never done it before, and being able to accurately and efficiently speak to them is really a great step in the right direction for you building that relationship.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you hit on something that I'm going to talk about in a little bit that that I think is incredibly important when it comes to efficiency. And I think Holistiplan does an amazing job of this, which is the replication of process. And I think replication of process for advisors is, it might be number one when it comes to being able to really take efficiencies to the next level. Do you have a way of replicating your client meeting note process? Do you have a way of replicating your tax planning process? And so using templates is what we're gonna get into in a little bit, but that's where I think the main like piece of gold is when you talk about what's so important about what we're doing as companies. It's replicating process for advisors for sure. And so clarity for client, again, it just comes back, it does always all come back to accuracy. But if you have accurate information that you're able to convey with your client, your clients are gonna have so much more clarity, and they're gonna understand what decisions are gonna have to be made. And I think that was a great point there, Torie.
Yeah, and I mean today's example, right, is Holistiplan and tax planning, and getting clarity around that for your clients. Tax planning is pretty new for most clients. They know that they need it, they know that they want it, but they don't know how to get it. And being able to use a platform like Holistiplan creates that clarity for clients on the importance of it, the value of it, and how it's going to benefit them in the long run. And so being able to use the templates that we'll show you later, again, we're kind of threading the needle here, but you guys will see how the accuracy and the efficiency helps for that overall clarity for the client. But that's again a huge proponent of why we've built what we built, is to give that clarity around tax planning for everyone in your book of business.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. And when it comes to like the final like end product, what are we all trying to get after? We're trying to get after good decision making. And so utilizing good, accurate data that's used to help clarify for the client what needs to be done, and then be able to have that the final product be the decision that's made with your client, having all that information and do it efficiently. That's the end goal, right?
Yeah, and two, if we've checked the first three, decision making should come relatively quickly, right? If you've clearly and effectively found the problem, clarified it with the client, showed them your options, they are able to make a decision more quickly, as opposed to having this, a muddied, watered situation on your hands. So being able to have that, that good data in, good data out creates that output that the decision making is a more concrete. The client feels more confident. They feel like they own that decision, but also that decision comes more quickly for you to move forward with any financial planning that you're doing for them.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Well, Torie, I'd like to give you the floor now for a little bit and let you
Sure.
talk about Holistiplan, because a lot of the attendees today very well could be mobile assistant customers and users of ours that maybe don't know everything about Holistiplan. And so, so I want to give you the floor and let you talk about what you do.
Yeah, so quickly, Holistiplan again is a tax planning solution for financial advisors. We allow you to upload a client's tax return. So you're going to take a federal return, upload it into our system, and in about 45 seconds, you will have a tax report that you'll be able to go over with the client. So from there, that tax report is going to break down line by line everything that client has on their return. So if Medicare Part D and D premiums, you're going to be able to see cap gains and losses, Schedule D, all of that good stuff is on there. And at the bottom of that return, that report, there are these observations, and that's where that tax planning really starts. That's where you're going to have that open conversation with the client on what do they want to do next, right? These are the observations that the client has at their fingertips to take advantage of. And from there, you, the advisor, can help guide them and model out those different observations for them. So I would say, you know, top observations that the advisors are seeing are Roth conversions, DAFs, QCDs, all of that kind of under that umbrella. The advisor can then take that information, go into our scenario analysis tool, and be able to build out just like you are in your financial planning software. So think of your like e-monies of the world. You're building out different portfolio proposals. You are able to essentially do that in our planning tool for tax planning. So scenario analysis is that, just that. You're building out Roth conversion, you're building out a charitable giving, and you could build out even a DAFT if that's what the client wanted to see. We also have it where you could build out something as simple as the client is getting married or having a child for the following year. So again, tax planning is a year-round sport. Is what we like to say here. So being able to be on top of all different tax planning needs for your client is kind of our bread and butter for the software.
Yeah, love it. I love you mentioned during your conversation there that you were talking about a guide, right? And I look at Holistiplan as very much a roadmap, if you will, to help guide advisors through the tax planning process. I think it's fantastic. And I know we're going through this kind of quickly, guys, but anything on this page you want to cover, Torie, or this is going to be available for everybody too. So if we need to go,
so we'll get the slides. Yeah, so we'll get the slides out. So I just wanted to throw this one up quickly. Again, this is just how our technology works. We are an OCR technology. We read each individualized tax returns, and then that tax report is created for you. Scenario analysis allows you to quickly model the planning scenarios. And then we do have customized client deliverables. Like I mentioned, the QCD and the DAF. So all items here, we've kind of briefly gone over. But again, we can send these slides out.
Awesome. Well, that transitions really well to where mobile assistant fits in, and that is, you know, what we do as a company. You know, we provide an easy way for advisors to document their client interactions and do it in a way that's replicatable and it's delivered where it needs to go. Most of the time, that means getting into the CRM and doing it in a way that the data is structured and accurate. The US-based human transcriptionists behind the scenes are the ones that make these notes incredibly accurate, of over 99.7%. And so what we were talking about earlier, when we were talking about the value of quality, that's where the back end and the foundation of our company really fits in here. We provided this new technology into the industry about 5 years ago. And the idea was that instead of just expecting advisors to be able to hit a record button and remember everything and not let anything slip through the cracks and be able to just speak their notes, we wanted to give advisors an easy way to kind of guide them through the process. And that was where the dictation template system came into play. So we have built into the Talk It mobile app dictation templates that can be designed for every type of client interaction that advisors have. And so because of the customization of the templates and that ability, it presented us with an amazing opportunity with Holistiplan, which was to be able to create templates that are specific for the Holistiplan forms that are needed. So the Holistiplan Tax Planning Review is the first one that I'm going to walk through. And it's really very simple. Every template will have a title, it'll have a color, and it'll have a list of questions that are going to be displayed as you go through the recording process of your dictation. So the idea of having a Holistiplan Tax Planning Review template is that there are a list of questions that are essential for that tax planning review. So what we want to do is we want to provide you a roadmap of how to get that information accurately documented and get it into the CRM so that you can take that information and populate it in Holistiplan. Right. And so a really simple way of showing this is just showing what the template actually looks like. So I select the Holistiplan Tax Planning Review template. And now on the mobile app, I'm going to see the questions. I'm going to say the question, I'm going to answer it. So it's very simple how the process works. It really is a guide. It's a guide through the process of getting the information and getting it not just getting it documented, but getting it documented in the structure and in the format that's needed so that it's easy to take that information and get it into the Holistiplan program. So that's the first example. The second example here is the Holistiplan tax request. So these questions, again, they're all customizable. So we created these so that it was an easy way to showcase exactly how these templates work and how we can manage them to every type of meeting that might come up for an advisor. Now, one of the things that's really, I think, amazing about the technology we got in the background is that you don't have to create these templates yourself. We have them on file now. And like as a new user at Mobile Assistant or even a current user at Mobile Assistant, all you have to do is contact us and let us know that you want to have the 2 Holistiplan tax planning review and tax request templates loaded onto your system. And what we'll do is we'll make them available. When you log into the Talk at Mobile app, they're going to be right there. So make it very easy to be able to get this template to you and get it in a way so that you can start using it right away.
Yeah, and I'm super excited for both of those. This was my fault and I just caught it as we're presenting. The way that these are laid out on the slide should be flopped. So the tax request should be the first one that you'd want to send out to your clients because that's requesting the tax return from the client. So you saw in that really cool video at the end, you're able to add the client's URL that they could click in and then upload the return to. And then the second one would be after you had that meeting for the tax planning review. So that would be like those observations that you went through. So that would be stored for your CRM. So you know, these are the items that we're taking care of for the year. So that was my fault. I set Corey up on that one. So just know in your brain that these should be flipped around.
No, totally not your fault. This is a good example of you're dealing with somebody that doesn't do these on a daily basis, right? So yeah, I think everybody gets the concept though that you've got the 2 different templates that are important for Holistiplan, and we get them loaded onto the account. But I just showed them in reverse order. So yeah, there you go. Okay, so the Assistant Template Manager. So I wanted to briefly show this just because this is part of the technology platform that exists at Mobile Assistant. And the idea here is that instead of just asking all of our advisors to create their templates themselves and to do it on their mobile app, we launched this about 3 years ago, which is the ability for you to be able to log into the web and be able to customize and manage your templates online. It's very easy to build them on your computer, and then all you have to do is click on Share to Team to have the templates that you've built distributed throughout the organization for all the team members that want them. So that's how we're able to do that with the Holistiplan templates, because we're going to make sure that every advisor that lets us know that they use Holistiplan are going to be part of that umbrella, that you're going to be under the Holistiplan umbrella, and we can add templates. And I plan on working with Torie and having our client experience team work with Holistiplan's team just to build out even more, to make it even more efficient. So if there's other types of information that needs to be gathered for Holistiplan, we're going to make templates out of it, and they're just going to show up right in the Talk at Mobile app. And so if there are other templates, and there will be, that you want to have added to the account, you can have as many as you want. And so you can have a template for an activity, you can have a template for phone call. One of the most used templates with all of our customer base is the annual review. And so those annual reviews obviously have information that's so important, that's documented, it's formatted, and you make sure you always get all the information from those annual reviews. Right now, we even have an F450 form that's preloaded for all of our LPL customers. So we're doing a lot of those things for annual reviews to just try to make it easier to gather the information, have it delivered back. So. And this is my last slide. I always end with the people behind the scenes, because at Mobile Assistant, the human touch is what makes the difference with our technology. All the technologies that are popping up and all the things that we do, all the client-facing innovations that we have with templates and ATM, it's all great. All that technology makes things efficient. It makes it easy to capture the data from our customers. But at the end of the day, the information is accurately transcribed by human beings behind the scenes. And so because of that, that's where the accuracy comes in. And I can't thank our team enough, because it's always, they're the ones that make me look so good when I'm out talking about our accuracy, and so proud about that number, that 99.7% accuracy number. It's only because of the human beings that make sure that the terminology is right, that everything in those documents is structured and accurate. So when it's delivered back, you're incredibly happy with what the product is that you're going to see. So now is time to just let you know how you can contact us. Before I kind of go through this, it's pretty self-explanatory, but one of the things that I always like to mention to advisors that are on these webinars is, don't feel like you're in this by yourself. All the team that's the client experience team that's at Mobile Assistant and Holistiplan, they're there to help you. And because both of our companies have worked with thousands of advisors over the years, we know what works. And so we're going to be able to help you through the process of, hey, how do I best use the templates for these Holistiplan like tax forms? Or if you have other questions of, hey, how does Holistiplan like integrate with Redtail? And same thing with Mobile Assistant. Our team are going to be able to walk you through and get those integrations either set up, or be able to walk you through what's working for all the advisors out there that we work with. And so leverage the client experience teams. That's something, Torie, I love talking about that, because it's something that it seems so simple that who would not think to do that, right? But I think a lot of advisors get caught up in this idea that they've got to do it all themselves. And I think it's incredibly important that they remember that we're here for them.
Yeah, and I think too, again, to go back to that, how to get all of your technology to work together, right? So ours is not an integration, it's a partnership, but we both integrate into Redtail. So the information that you're collecting on these templates from Holistiplan will feed into Redtail, but we also have an integration where you can upload client data from there. So again, it's just a perfect example of how two companies are partnering together, but also are integrated, at the hub of your CRM.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. And Redtail, I know, is one of your biggest partners as well. And having the information go from where the advisor is capturing the data to where it actually needs to go, when having Holistiplan's integration there along with Mobile Assistant, the data is all there for you. And so us working in parallel to make sure we get the data there, and then you'd be able to kick off the Holistiplan model is fantastic. One of the things to mention, like at Mobile Assistant's website, we do have a free trial, but we do have also a coaching session you can sign up for, and it's free. The coaching sessions are amazing. You'll be able to connect with one of our client experience team members, who hopefully I'm going to have Kara on here in just a minute to go over the Q&A. You can hop on anytime, Kara, if you'd like to show us your face. And but the client experience team does a great job of walking through for 15, 20 minutes with an advisor that signs up for those coaching sessions. Because even though it seems really easy how to get started, especially with our service where you speak your notes and they just come back and they're accurate, really understanding how templates work and understanding how, like, someone like Kara and on our client experience team has worked with advisors to build those out. She's going to have so many great ideas and best practices for you. So hi, Kara. Well, this is Kara Guthrie, everyone. This is our lead with our client experience team, and she works with advisors every day to get them set up with our service and show them how we integrate and partner with all these great companies. So hi, Kara.
Hi, guys.
Well, Kara, if you don't mind, have there been some questions that have come in that we can answer for everybody?
We do. We have some good questions, and even just to kind of sum a couple of them up, or a few of them up, we're getting a lot of questions about AI. Pretty obvious topic when we're talking about meeting documentation. So let's just kind of put these together. But the first one was, how does Talkit compare with other AI applications? And then I'll maybe go to the next one after that.
Sure. Well, as you can all imagine, I get asked this question weekly, right? Which is AI, how is it affecting mobile assistant and what's it going to do to the meeting note process? And I think there's two very important things to remember, that there's AI powered and there's AI focused. And those are two very different things. AI focused means it's an AI solution only. It means that there's voice recognition software that is behind the scenes that's going to translate the dictation and spit it back out. And what those services, like the services like that have a lot of issues, in my opinion, is because it all comes down to the accuracy. And so the AI powered solution is what Mobile Assistant has. We have started to introduce some AI on the back end to help our transcriptionists. And we've looked at it as AI as a tool to help increase the efficiency for the human component of what we do. And it really has played out in that exact way, in that as the technology's gotten better over the years, because it's not like we just started this 6 months ago. There's been voice technology around for 20 years now. And so we have slowly started to implement different technologies to make our transcriptionists just more efficient. And what that means is that 99.7% accurate note, we can just do more of that information, more of that data, and process more than we ever could before. So kind of a long-winded explanation or answer to that, but it is one that I'm getting a lot these days. And Torie, how does AI affect in Holistiplan? Can you talk about that a little bit? Like, how is that impacting you guys?
Yeah, so we don't actually use any AI on our platform. We have OCR, so we've built the system and it's reading, millions and millions of pages of returns. So it's a trained system that we have. So we don't have any AI on ours. We have no plans to add AI on our end, only because we have built such an incredible engine. But yeah, so currently like AI isn't really in our ecosystem as much as it is in your space, because the engine that we built, we don't technically need it yet, but never say never. But right now it's kind of like our own engine.
Well, and Torie, so what I think is a really good point is that, so the accuracy of the data that is coming from Mobile Assistant and also from Holistiplan, because of your OCR engine that you built that's so good, like the data that you are producing is accurate. And I think why that's such an important thing to mention is that there's so many AI tools that are going to be able to leverage that type of data to make some amazing things happen in the future. And so I think wherever that technology is going, it's always going to rely on the highly accurate data set that it's looking at. And so whether or not that's from meeting notes, that's from the tax planning prep, like those are the two things that I think are really important to keep in mind, is that it's not that AI is not important. It's just that it needs to be pointed at the source of truth for data. And that's what I think both of our companies are really focused on. So.
Yeah, we still, again, we use the human element, right? If there's something on that return that our OCR can't read, really great example, and I hope this gets at least one laugh. We still get handwritten returns. So people are still writing their returns in, not doing like a digital format. So our system cannot read handwriting. So that's actually kicked out to our OCR team, which is actually just how Corey's team is, right? They're actually true humans and reading that return and then manually entering that data. So again, I think AI has a space in every space that we're in. But I don't know that in our industry, it's going to ever replace like that true like human interaction.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Carol, what else do you have for us?
As far as AI, I feel like you both covered. One of the other questions was just more AI in the future, but I feel like that's mostly been answered. So let's talk about integrations. One main question, do you integrate with other CRMs? I believe you referred to Redtail and Wealthbox so far. These ones were asking specifically for Tamarack, Black Diamond, Salentica. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Torie.
Yeah, so currently we only integrate with Redtail and Wealthbox on the CRM side. We do have a light integration with Salesforce. If you are a Salesforce user, reach out to us. We have some options for you there, but those would be the three that we are integrated with currently. If you are an asset map user, we just rolled out an incredible new integration with them about 2 weeks ago. So we do have that integration. So not a CRM, but the other integration that we do have on the platform.
Yeah. And that's if anyone hasn't heard of that technology, Asset Map is an amazing tool. So yeah, check it out. One of the things that is a big development for us as a company is that up until last fall, like the integrations that we have in place with CRMs are all very much like individual CRM integrations. So we have an integration with Redtail, with Wealthbox, with Salesforce, and the issue with that is that you can only do so much. You can only integrate with so many because there's always someone that wants another CRM integration, right? So what we set out to do was to launch an open API platform. And so we successfully did that last fall. We launched what's called Connected. And Connected is our open API platform that allows for organizations now to pull the data from Mobile Assistant and put it wherever they need it. So now we're what I like to call agnostic when it comes to CRM or technology of where the notes are delivered. Organizations now have the self-control of like the self-checkout control of being able to take that information from us and pull it wherever they want. And so that was a big development in our technology, and it was done specifically so that we weren't tied into just individual CRM integrations. Now we have the ability to integrate with anybody. And so really proud of that. That's an exciting one. You want more information, please connect with our team and we'll be able to get you information on our open API product as well.
We have a question that asked, this is an interesting topic. He's not sure that it could work for him or save him time. Where can he go to get a quick demo? He asks if we can give a quick demo now. Corey, I'll leave that up to you.
A demo of Mobile Assistant or Holistiplan?
I believe he means Mobile Assistant.
Well, so I mentioned earlier, like on our website, you can sign up for a free coaching session. So instead of having it be with this entire group today, you can have an individual session where you can ask all the questions you want on a one-on-one. And so it'll either be Kara or one of our client experience team that they will hop on a Zoom just like this, and they will walk you through exactly how our platform works, how we're working with advisors, and really the best practices of how to incorporate it into your practice.
Torie, what about you? Do you guys do a demo coaching session?
Yeah, so we have, if you go to the website listed there, we also offer a 7-day free trial. It includes a few uploads. We have sample data that you can use for that if you didn't want to use client or your own data. We also have a team that you can set up a demo with. So if you are not a Holistiplan user, you can go to the Holistiplan website, sign up for a demo, or sign up for a free trial play around. We also have Vimeo or YouTube where we have recorded demos of the platform there as well for you to check out.
Yeah. And those, what I call those like video training sessions, I think are so great that when companies have those. We just rolled out a new series just a couple of weeks ago. So if you go to our website, you'll be able to go to, on the top menu, you can go to the training series, and we've got a list of, I think we got like 6 training videos now. And somebody told me once, you've got to make them like a TikTok world. And so that's what we did. We made them 60 seconds, 90 seconds long, and it really talks about, we talk about everything from the Talk It mobile app to ATM, and we even talk about best practices for dictation. So nice, short. You don't have to worry about having to spend a half an hour of your time. Go on there, you can watch it and just fit it in between your Instagram and your TikTok time, and we'll be able to show you some good stuff.
Good call.
Good.
Torie, anything else you want to highlight with Holistiplan as far as specific things that maybe no one else has asked about or gotten covered?
Yeah, I think a couple of times I saw a question around what types of returns we upload. So if you aren't familiar with Holistiplan, we only do federal returns currently, federal individual returns. So I know we get a lot of questions, can I upload business returns? Not currently. We hear you guys loud and clear, but right now it's just the federal individual return. We are able to give some state hints based off that federal return if you do have clients living in states that have state income taxes. And then we do have an additional tool in the scenario analysis that you could have as an add-on that does specific state scenarios. So again, if you work with clients not in states that have income state, we can model those out for you too. So I see that question always pop up, what kind of returns? So just individual federal returns currently.
That's great. Thanks, Torie. And, you know, one of the things that I like to bring up is because I love talking about what's next. And so one of the things that we're working on right now is, you know, we've had an integration with Redtail for 10 years now. And we are now working with them to create a new integration through our open API product. And what that means to me is that it's going to open up the world to exactly what different things that we can do with our integration with Redtail. And so I'm really excited. We have some really interesting ideas. I travel around the country and do a lot of the Redtail universities. And what those are basically like 1-day fire hose of information training sessions that Redtail puts on throughout the country. And at every one of those, I get a chance to speak. And what I do is I always ask everybody that's there, like, what do you want from an integration with Mobile Assistant and Redtail to make it better? And I've gotten such great feedback that we've got some really interesting things that we're going to roadmap out that are going to be coming in the future. So so I know that's not very specific, but basically take that as a Redtail integration update, which we're really excited about. So. Well, good. Well, I think we can probably wrap it up, Kara, unless you have any other pressing questions. One of the things to mention is we do have a survey again at the end. So if you hold on for a few minutes, you'll be able to answer those. We'd really appreciate it. Our team's here if you need anything. Torie's team is going to be there if you need anything. I couldn't think of a better first episode of the Mobile Assistant partner series than having Torie on here. Torie, you've been great. This has been so much fun. Thanks for everything you do. Anything you want to say to everybody before we kick off here?
No, I appreciate you guys spending the last 45 minutes with us. Corey, thank you again for letting me be the first. I'm super excited to see the next several that you guys have planned.
Awesome. Thanks, Kara, for hopping on with us. And thank you everyone for your time today. We'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.